E-governance reforms for my administration don improve governance and public service delivery and don make Edo State the best for technology matter for public governance for Naija. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki come tok say through the government's transparency, accountability and ogbonge management of resources, the budget performance for the state dey grow wella from 116 billion naira when e enter office for 2016 to 320 billion naira, and say all dis plenty increase na sake of the e-governance reforms wey administration do. The governor yarned this one when he declared open the 6th Southern Zonal Accountants Conference of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria ICAN for Benin City, where the team now Quest for Good Governance in Nigeria, the Chartered Accountant Perspective. The governor talks said the role of professional bodies like ICAN dey very important for providing ogbonge solutions wey go help improve the delivering of the dividends of democracy to our people, and say under im watch as governor of Edo State, dem don do plenty reforms to promote accountability, transparency and ogbonge management of resources to meet the needs of Edo people and to promote good governance.
I understand that the theme of our zonal conference is Quest for Good Governance in Nigeria, the Chartered Accountant's Perspective. It is clear that however you describe good governance, there must be certain key elements in that description. And that for good governance to be seen to have been achieved, processes and institutions involved or that should produce good governance must produce results that meets the society's need while making the best use of the resources at its disposal. In other words, good governance in Nigeria must refer to the process where public institutions conduct public affairs and manage public resources with guarantee and that we will realize our political, economic, educational and environmental objectives as is enshrined in Chapter 11 of the Fundamental Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy in Section 15 to 20 of the 1999 Constitution of our country. Therefore, the theme of this workshop is appropriately timed in view of the socio-political state of our country today, where the expectation of the masses appear to be far from met as evidenced by the high cost of living arising from the withdrawal of fuel subsidy, the high interest rates being charged by financial institutions, high foreign exchange rates, and so on and so forth. It is therefore important that the role of professional bodies, particularly the Institute of the Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, in preferring solutions that will enhance the delivery of the dividends of democracy to most of our citizens and stakeholders cannot be overemphasized. This includes, but not limited to, advisories on how to increase revenue generation, how to prevent wastages in expenditure, how to institute internal controls, and how to prevent fraud in the management of public finances. In Edo State, under my leadership, several reforms have been undertaken to promote accountability, transparency, and prudent management of resources to meet the people's needs and promote good governance. And for us in Edo, working with professionals and developing our master plan, we envision Edo to be the state in Nigeria where before the year 2015, we will be the best state to live, work, and prosper. E-governance reforms and leveraging technology to promote transparency, accountability, and fight corruption is one major achievement that we have made. I have boasted openly in several fora that I will be the last governor in Edo State that will work on physical files. And by the grace of God, September 1 this year, we will cut over from physical to electronic files. We've involved our citizens in our budget creation process by increasing openness and citizens' engagement in the budgeting process, amongst others. It is apt to state here that the Edo State government, under my leadership, has received several awards from institutions like the World Bank and, thankfully, also from ICAN. But what this has meant for Edo citizens is that good governance has seen our economy in this state grow significantly. We've seen our budgets grow from 116 billion when I came into office. Today, it's grown over 3 times, 320 billion. And our budget performance in Edo is in excess of 85% annually.
Obaseki constitute for the 6 thematic pillars of strategy where they drive in government to provide good governance for Edo people. A constitute for the laws and policy reforms when your administration don't do to improve the governance for the state, and also the fundamental debt management reforms and open governance partnership principles where your administration adapt. Obaseki contour say under in leadership, Edo state government don't benefit well from members of ICAN where them first recruit, and say they go recruit more members now into the Edo state civil service.
We've done it before through history, and our mission is to make Edo great again. It will interest you to know that these 6 thematic pillars that have been driving our government's deliverance of good governance include the reform of our institutions, governance reforms. And I hope you have time to go around and see what we have been doing with our bureaucracy. Not just the revamping and rebuilding of a physical infrastructure, but in terms of the motivation and the culture of our public servants. The second pillar is to create a citizen-centric government or citizen-centric leadership, because government is not for us in government. Government is for the people we serve. The third is to make government an enabler and move from where we are today, what the military created for us, where government thinks it can do everything for its citizens. In Edo, our emphasis is to make sure that government enables things to happen by regulating and by making sure that the citizens participate in the policies. Fourthly, we rely on technology and data-driven governance. And as some of my colleagues who are here will let you know that we can proudly say that Edo is #1 when it comes to technology adoption in public governance in Nigeria. Our goal is to build a very large sustainable economy driven by energy, agriculture, technology. And then lastly, to build a physical and digital infrastructure that will drive everything we do in the state. As chartered accountants, I want you to note that in the last 6 years, we have reviewed our financial instructions, which was hitherto used in the Western and Midwest regions. And today, our FI, or financial instructions, reflect the current reality of modern public service governance. Several states have come in to understudy what we have done, and we are open to letting the region, the zone, know how we have done what we have done. We have adopted the IPSAS accounting basis of accounting in our financial reporting, and in 2020, the World Bank adjudged Edo State audited financial report as meeting the IPSAS requirement. In 2018, we enacted the Public Financial Management and Fiscal Responsibility Law in our state. The enactment of the Edo Audit Law 2020, which we amended in 2021, was a replacement of the Bendel State Audit Law number 10 of 1982. And this new law guarantees financial and operational autonomy to the institution in keeping with the Lehman Declaration of 1977. We have increased internally generated revenues substantially by granting administrative and financial autonomy to the Edo State Internal Revenue Service. We have undertaken very fundamental debt management reforms, and we have adopted the open governance partnership principles. I'm particularly happy to state that Edo State government, under my leadership, has decided, because of our experience, because of the benefit and gains we have received from your members, to now make it a priority to recruit more FCAs, real ones, into the civil service of Edo State.
For his speech, the 59th Presido of ICAN, Dr. Innocent Okosa, can give accolades to the governor for the ogbonge management of scarce resources to better the lives of the majority of Edo people, and say Naija go only fit comot for poverty if im leaders focus on good governance and development.
The 6th Southern Zonal Accountant Conference of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria is indeed taking place at a critical point in our nation's history. For several years, concerns about poor governance have been on the rise. The Mo Ibrahim Index of African Governance for 2022 placed Nigeria, the giant of Africa, 30th out of 54 countries, classifying the rank as increasing, deteriorating. What a contrast. A sad narrative, considering Nigeria's vast human and natural resources endowment. It has become imperative that 4 components of the framework: governance, security and rule of law, participation, rights, inclusion, and foundation for economic opportunity and human development, must be tackled as a composite if Nigeria is to see significant improvement in her governance ranking. I am sure that the theme of this conference captures what we aspire, and the theme of the annual accountant conference, which is around inclusive development, because this is where the chartered accountant will have a role to play. I want to thank our good friend, the governor of Edo State in our midst here, for all the support he has given to the Institute. I want to assure this audience that we are not relenting in our efforts as an institute towards the creation of a society that we and our children will all be proud of. Recently, we signed a delegation agreement with the Financial Reporting Council. With the agreement, your institute will, on behalf of the Financial Reporting Council, ensure the effective monitoring of audit firms to ensure they adhere to best practices. As we all know, the financial reports are critical to local and foreign investors arriving at investment decisions. ICAN supports the FRC mandate to ensure that audit firms adhere to the guideline of international standards on quality management, among the others.
Other ogbonge people wey tender for the ICAN 6 Southern Zonal Conference now, Edo State Commissioner for Finance, Budget, Economic Planning and Development, Adaze Agwele Kalu, Edo State Internal Revenue Service, Honorable John Osage Inegbedion, and Edo State Accountant General Julius Oseme Anelu, among others. From Benin City, A. Carter Ojisole, TMC TV News.